Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Politics is very interesting because every camp is putting up a strategy. But the dominant narrative that the region that will decide who becomes the fifth president to be the Mount Kenya, I think is making people to lose the focus. The focus should be on the Kenyan people. There is a recent strategy that I want us to look at. It is a strategy by Rigathi Gachagua to lump all the baggage of Jubilee 1 and Jubilee 2 and all Mount Kenya issues that according to him believes are the problem, lump all these issues and put in Raila Odinga's head. And you will realize that during his tours of Mount Kenya, because Rigathi Gachagua has been campaigning in Mount Kenya alone for now like 2 weeks. Actually not Mount Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua is campaigning in Kikuyu dominated counties alone without deputy president. And that's why you saw he was in Nakuru. And yesterday he was in Nyeri, which is his home ground. And of course I saw clips of him ferrying some crowds and recycling crowds from one stop over to the other. I normally say that is not shocking to me because I had seen that myself. I want us to listen to this statement where Rigathi Gachagua was trying to clamp everything and put in the head of Raila Odinga. But interestingly, you will see how this is playing out because CJ, the Speaker Muturi, is also in the mix. But some lady has gone to TikTok with a very interesting video that I want us to look at in this analysis. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and kindly like our video. When you do that, you are promoting this channel. Now, listen to Rigathi Gachagua.
Hii mzee ya kuzimia ni uzee ama ni kuchanganyikiwa? Ni uzee ama ni kuchanganyikiwa? Mimi sina ubaya na mtu yeyote. Hata huyu Kadini Kega ni ndugu yangu. Lakini nimwambie Kadini, umepotea. Wewe unaweza kuja hapa kutuambia ati tuchague mzee ya kuzimia ya miaka 80. Si hiyo ni madharau? Si ni madharau? Na wewe Kadini Kega, ugali uko nafasi urudi nyumbani. Wewe wacha kufuata hii mzee ya kuzimia, mtazimia pamoja. Si watazimia pamoja? Na kama huna haja kukaa hapa Keni, ufuata hiyo mzee ya kuzimia. Tuweke wewe na yeye kwa wheelbarrow, tusukume nyinyi mpaka Bondo. Kwa sababu niulize, na hatuna ubaya. Sisi ni Wakristo. Hata tukimsamehea hii mzee ya kuzimia kwa ile maneno ametufanyia. Alipindua serikali ya Moi 1982. Akasubua Mwai Kibaki. Akang'oa Leri. Akakataa matokeo ya uchaguzi. Akapigana na sadaka kanisani. Amekuja amekoroga serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Amekuja ameongeza bei ya gas. Amekoroga uchumi ya Kenya, kila kitu imepanda. Hata kama tungemsamehea, nyinyi mkiona hii mzee iko na miaka 80. Kazi ya Kenya, tuko na deni ya wa China ya 11 trillion. Tuko na vijana milioni 6 hawana kazi. Tuko watu 14 million wako kwa CRB. Hiyo kazi hii mzee akuzimia anawezana naye? Anawezana naye? Sasa unaona anaenda mkutano moja anapumzika siku 3. William Ruto anachapa mkutano 10, mimi nachapa 15. Umeona nimekuwa Nakuru? Nimefanya mkutano 50. Leo niko na mkutano 8. Sasa hii mzee akuzimia akishaamuka na amuka saa 4, si Kenya imeisha? Si imeisha? Nyinyi niulize nyinyi watu ya hapa Kiawara Demorie, mkutano wa baraza la mawaziri huanza saa 2. Unaenda mfululizo mpaka saa 11. Hii mzee akuzimia akiingia saa 2, ikifika saa 5 amelala hajalala. Amelala hajalala.
So guys, that is Rigathi Gachagua speaking in Nyeri. And let me just explain something. Joe Biden is 8 years and is the president of United States of America. Rigathi Gachagua now is 57 years of age. Raila was 57 years in 2002, and by that time, where Rigathi is now is where Raila was in 2002, and has remained in the political scene for the next 20 years. I want to mention that politics is one of the careers that is very delicate because you can be finished. We know people who become MPs. In my own constituency, there was an MP known as Edwin Ochieng, who was in a parliament, I think, between 1997 to 2002, came back to parliament in 2007, and after that, his clout in politics gone. So when Raila said Kibaki Tosha, that is when he was 57 years. So this issue about the years, I don't know what is about it. But if you want to know that this is a strategy, I want you to listen to another clip by Muturi, who was campaigning in Embu. And he went to an extent of explaining to voters there. You could see the way he was struggling to explain that Jubilee Party is ODM and Azimio is ODM. And I was like, honestly, ODM do not have a candidate in Embu. ODM has a Senate candidate in Muranga, Pius Kinodia, if I'm not wrong. There is an MP candidate in Nyeri. I think those are the ones I can remember. And they have also parts of Meru and Tharaka Nithi bit. But if you count ODM aspirants in Mount Kenya, they are less than 200. In fact, less than 100. But listen to what Muturi was saying.
Unajua kawaida ya Moembu na Mombere, ukiua nyoka na usitaki kuona ingine karibu, lazima pia utafute mayai yake. Na kwa sababu hapa hatujapigia ODM, hii kitu inaitwa Azimio is equals to ODM. Na hapa Embu tunasema ODM in bracket Azimio, kwa sababu inaitwa Jubilee, inaitwa Mbasi, inaitwa nini, yote hiyo ni mayai ya ODM. Na kwa sababu sisi hapa hatujapigia ODM kura, tunatema tarehe 9 hao wote ni nyoka tunavunja. Kawaida ukiua nyoka unaua pamoja na mayai yake. Yao yote tunafagia, tunapeleka PO Box Bondo ndani ya wheelbarrow.
So if you listen to that, you'll see the way it is a coordinated attempt. And look at this. Before I analyze this video, I was talking to a gentleman from just doing peer analysis. Then observation you could make is, one, the initial plan was attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta and uprooting the influence of President Uhuru Kenyatta in Mount Kenya, so that perhaps Rigathi Gachagua will sprout to be the next kingpin. And after that, when President stepped back, Martha Karua took the center stage. Then Martha Karua came in, and she came in with the force, but Rigathi Gachagua and the team found it very difficult. It would have been very easy to attack Raila's running mate if that running mate was not Martha Karua. But because it is Martha Karua, it became so difficult. So they tried Martha Karua, but if you watch my previous video, I mentioned that that again was, they trained Alice Wahome and Women League to do that. So the last lap is one now Rigathi Gachagua is saying, I'm going to attack Raila Odinga. And I'm going now to talk to people about Raila Odinga. The question that lingers is, what exactly happened to the bottom-up economic model? What exactly happened to agitating for the plight of people of Mount Kenya? And you will see, and I've always mentioned here that economic model is just political posturing. I have maintained here it's political posturing. The real deal in the house is you are going to look for how you can make people not to vote for Raila Odinga and maybe demeaning the personality. Now, there is an interesting TikTok video. I want us to watch that video.
So I think place imefika. Oh, Ruto.
Listen to that. You'll get a lot of sense, honestly, that whatever is happening is very deep. Now, that lady is trying to make a lot of sense in what exactly he's saying that is bringing the cost of living. And I'm playing that video. I got that video in TikTok, and I'm playing that video because there is something that Rigathi Gachagua said there, that I don't know, Raila did everything. They are clamping everything on the head of Raila Odinga. But if you look at it critically, Deputy President has the majority. They have the majority in parliament. So there are things they can do, and that's what that lady is saying, that there are things that he could do. Let him not cry out that he was not in government. But am I the only one that is, I don't know whether William Ruto is getting worried. And number two, do Rigathi Gachagua sit in the national campaign strategy team by William Ruto? Or does he come from his home and get to the car and go to campaign rally? Because when you demean Raila Odinga because of age, you're saying 80% mzewa, 80% cannot do anything. Luckily enough, the people who are attending some of those rallies, if you look at, there were some very young kids there who do not even have water. When this information gets the ears of the elderly people in the community, even in Mount Kenya, when wazee wa Mount Kenya wakisikia hiyo, what kind of perception do they take? They first take that you are a person who do not see value in old people. That is it. Raila has a constituency across the country. The elderly, if you think he's old, then the people between 70s and 80s really, they subscribe to his ideals. So when you say that, you demean the personality, or you demean the people that are, according to you, are senior citizens. However, these senior citizens are the people that gave birth to the voting population that you're targeting. So mzee can call, can contact, maybe when they're having peer talks with the son and the kids, they're like, oh, sasa wewe anatudharaulia ranga sisi wazee kuna kitu tunaweza fanya. That, according to me, is very catastrophic. And that is one of the reasons why people will always persuade you that the senior citizens in this country and the middle class will vote for Raila Odinga. It's because of such statements from Rigathi Gachagua. Now, look at it this way. Why they go for personality of Raila Odinga is they don't want, and Rigathi Gachagua doesn't want the election to be on competence. Because honestly, it should be on competence. That I can do this. If Raila says I can do this because I can fight corruption because I know where money is being stolen and all that, that statement is talking about competence. But on the same side, instead of saying why Raila can't achieve that, find another reason. Don't go for the personality. Don't go because Mzee is old. Or honestly, I find that, and that's, for me, I find that a bit irresponsible talk. Now, there is something that must also be understood. William Ruto is not campaigning in central Kenya. For better part of this month, he was not in central Kenya, and is trying to make inroads in Mombasa, in the coast, in western, and in the other parts. Actually, he's trying to make inroads into 3 areas: western, coast, and Nairobi. Those are the areas that he's trying to antagonize. Now, for example, in Nairobi, there are people who are traditional Raila supporters. Raila Odinga has been in the ballot for the last 3 general elections. All of them, his name is in the ballot. So you cannot undermine, yes, supporters. Now, if William Ruto is to make those inroads, then honestly, the language, or rather the approach, must be begging for votes. That's what Raila is doing. The same thing, Raila knew that central Kenya had predominantly been on the Ruto side. So when they went with Martha Karua, they are begging. They are saying, tupatieni, tunaomba. But on the other side, Rigathi Gachagua is going to central Kenya and now attacking Raila Odinga. The people who support Raila Odinga from the other areas, it might be a strategy that he's locking central Kenya, but he's also dropping William Ruto's votes from the other parts of the country. And that is something that I think the presidential team must look at, because at the end of the day, what really matters is the number of votes that you're going to get in this election. Raila demonization is not new, and I don't know how it's adding votes, because if you ask me, all those things he's saying about Raila Odinga has been said. They have been said not once, not twice, not in 1 year, for over a century, for over like 30 years. Those things have been said. But what's happening is he must give it a new perspective. Actually, if someone is advising Rigathi Gachagua, I wish I would be one. I would look for something specific that I can use to convince Mount Kenya not to vote for Raila Odinga and to vote for William Ruto. Because the things he's saying, the strategies he's trying to recycle is not doing any, is not very consequential. Because people in Mount Kenya, as people are now, Raila is not losing, Raila is gaining. Ikifika leo maybe mtu atasema do this, do that, do that. And I want, if you think I am just making this analysis for the sake of it, there is that video, I got it in a channel known as Daily News, run by a very good friend of mine. I want to go and look out for that video and look at the comment section. Look at that comment section and sample those comments. Look at the names and the way people are talking there. Out of 188 comments, 77% of those comments, not 77, over 80% of those comments are telling of Rigathi Gachagua. That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong. And this approach is what is causing them the media coverage. Who is this journalist who is going to be stationed to go and cover Rigathi Gachagua's rally? You are supposed to come back and write a story and make a story. And I have been to a newsroom. When you go to attend a rally, there is what is called story angle. You must come with an angle so that kama station A imefanya hii, if Citizen Guy cover this angle, KTN inakava hii, unakava different angles. But then you find out there is no angle for you because all was there was just total insults. And again, even the journalists are human beings. They are human beings, and by the way, they are also skewed. Utapata, a journalist who has been sent to cover Rigathi Gachagua's rallies is a Luya, or is a Kalenjin, or is a Luo. And you make such personal attacks. They will make personal judgment, be like, tell the editor, okay, I think Rigathi Gachagua's rally, there is nothing, mazee. Wacha tuende tuna yongine. This is the cutting edge, why Martha Karua receives the airtime. She receives the airtime because she will always speak about the manifesto. And she will try to inject something new. Why you need to vote for us? The question of why Mount Kenya needs to vote for William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua is not answering in those rallies. The moment he will start telling people why Mount Kenya needs to vote for William Ruto, that's the moment first he will start getting media coverage. Number two, that's the moment you will see give Gachagua the microphone will end, because he will be making sense. But all this just runs and personal attacks and the personality characterizations. I saw William Ruto saying that the media is attacking them for is doing character assassination to them. Honestly, in analysis, I don't say I am not in the rally. I say what you said in the rally, and that is the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my bold analysis.